everyone. This is your girl Lisa. We're back. We're having a conversation, but it seems like I have to put like a couple of disclaimers on things. Uh, Hair flying in my face. First of all, we're talking about mental health here. I am by no stretch of the imagination am I a PhD or a therapist or anything like that. I'm just somebody that deals with mental health. Um, and secondly, I am not selling anything, at least not right now. I do have a shop Shopify store, um, but I'm currently working on it. So it's under it's currently under construction. So I am working on that right now. But as of right now, I'm not selling anything. Um, if it's resources that people need, you can reach out to me and I can do some research and find out um, the resources in maybe like your town or your city or your state, and put you in the right direction, But right now we're just having a conversation and and that construction. So with all that said, how's everybody today? How is everybody today? I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. I am having an okay Saturday. You know, uh, the temperature is getting hot. I think next week, like I think Tuesday and Wednesday, probably even Thursday, I think it's supposed to be right about 100. See, here we go with this hot nonsense. I can't, no. You know, um, I usually don't like to go out in this weather because it's way too hot. Give me fall and give me spring. Those are the two seasons I can deal with. Winter and winter and summer, no. The winter gets too cold. Hi, how are you? The winter gets too cold and the summers get too hot. You know, I'm not popular though. So today we're gonna talk about it. Like I said, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. Me, I'm having an okay Saturday. Oh, that's nice to hear. Not popular. That's. Uh, I know. I know. I'm having technical issues. I'm sorry. Um, Hopefully it's not too bad. Is it? Is it really bad? Because from my end, it doesn't look like it's too bad. I don't know. I hope so. I really hope so. Uh, so like today, you know, like I said, we're going to talk about, mental health issues and other things. If you want to talk about other things, we can. Um, I mean, here's a question. Have you ever had one of those Okay, see you later. Thank you for stopping by. Um, have you ever had one of those days where you just struggle? You just struggle to do day to day things. You know, I have that struggle. Especially when the depression kicks in. I have an issue. Like I know my house needs to be clean, but I can't seem to. I can't. You know, I know my backyard, the lawn needs to be mowed. Once again, I can't. You know, just you know, I can't. Now the front part, it's not that big. It's just like a little section by my door. I try to keep that trimmed because I do not like being attacked by bushes when I'm trying to walk through my front door. I have an issue with that. Big issue. So I try to keep that cut down. Um, Plus, I don't like to be out there with the bees, man. I really don't like it. No, no. Knock on wood, I haven't been stung by a bee. I try to avoid that at all costs. I see a bee, I try to walk the opposite direction. I don't like bees. And that's why, I try to do it. If I do it, I try to do it early in the morning, somewhere between 6 and 7 before they start getting up and getting activated. I try to beat them. I try to beat them to the punchline. But yeah. So today we're talking about mental health. We're talking about the depression and the way the way it takes a toll. I know for me it takes a toll on my life. It makes it hard for me to do certain things. I get to the point where I'm just like, I don't want to do it. I just want to stay in bed. I am sleeping a lot. Um, but that's all due to the depression. That's really all due to the depression. And, you know, you know, it's something that bugs me, but unfortunately I have no control over. You know, I do have an appointment with a doctor, um, so that they can readjust my meds because I've been on the Wellbutrin for many years now, and I think I've built up a tolerance. So, that don't seem to be working at this point in time. So I have to get my medications adjusted, you know. And listen, that's all part of self love, you know. When you know that you're not feeling right, you know, you self love you because you're taking care of yourself. I have to take care of myself because you know what? At the end of the day, ain't nobody gonna take care of me but me. Because can't nobody tell me what's going on with me but me. You know, unless there's another person living in my body, then I need to know who and start charging me rent. You know, it's and then and you know what? And the things that's going on in the world today, I mean, it is super. We're on a. It is super depressing. It is super depressing. Just to, you know, you open up your eyes, you get up, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you get yourself a cup of coffee, you turn on your news, and the first thing you see is, if not somebody dead, then we talking about the ex-president's escapades and shenanigans, you know, and the state of the world that it is in today. you know I never was one for Black Lives Matter. I'm always down for all lives matter because all lives do matter. You know, why should I always be confined to just one race? Because we had it super rough, with our ancestors, you know. But one thing we were taught is that if we want change, we have to make the change. And when we make the change, it has to come from the inside out, not the outside in. You know, we have to do it, we have to go from inside out, you know, because there's a scripture in the Bible that says, he who's without sin cast the first stone. Everybody's hands should be empty. Everybody's hands should be empty. Because ain't nobody in this world without sin. Because the Bible tells us we were all born into sin. So that kind of X that out. So it's just like, the state of affairs today, it's depressing. And if you already have that, like I already have that, all it's doing is exacerbating it. It's irritating it, you know. And that's why I try not to watch the news, but sometimes you just can't get away from it, you know, because if it's not on the news, then guess what? It's all over social media. So it's like you cannot get away from that, you know. And it's like, so what do you do when you're in that position and you already dealing with depression? What do you do? You cannot not look at it. I mean, you can, but is that reality? Because at the end of the day, even if you don't look at it, I bet you one of your friends did, and they're going to talk to you about it or try to talk to you about it. And now your curiosity is piqued, and then you're going to go home and you're going to Google it or you're going to YouTube it. And then, you know what? There goes the depression. It's like, why did I just do that to myself? So it's not like we can get away from it. It's really not. Um, and like I said, by no stretch of imagination am I a therapist or a psychiatrist or anything. But what I have learned throughout the years, and even going through my what we call is a CASAC class here in New York State, and CASAC stands for Credentialing Alcohol and Substance Abuse Counselor. And one of the things that we did learn was that you know like we see these kids, one minute they find it, the next minute they Xing out friends and family and stuff like that. And it's like, wait a minute, a week ago they were just fine, and then um, you want to blame on mental health. You've never had a mental health before, but what you have to understand is that with mental health, especially within young kids, you know, can be a delayed reaction. You know, at 13, he might have been fine, but at 15, guess what? Schizophrenia done kicked in. You know, it, and it's like that. And one of the things I don't agree with, I really don't agree with, is medicating children when they're super young. Okay, when you're in your teens, that's one thing, but when you're like 10 years and younger, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it because this is how children get misdiagnosed. You know, you take a child, say like 5 or 6 years old, and he or she happens to be very active, and because you as a parent don't want to deal with it, you take it. First thing you do is you take him to the doctor and have him misdiagnosed with ADHD, and now he's on Ritalin. I almost said Ritalin. Yeah, sorry, my bad. And now he's on Ritalin. But then as he gets older, without the medication, you see that he's kind of calmed down. You know, so why was he on Ritalin in the first place? Because he was a little bit high strung, and you as a parent did not really want to deal with that. So the first thing you do is you take him to a doctor and have him misdiagnosed as having ADHD and put him on medication that he probably really didn't need to be on. You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but that's what I kind of call lazy parenting. You know, because I don't agree with medicating young children under the age of 10. I really don't. And even that, I want to say under the age of 12. I'm not, I really, I don't agree with it because what you think may be a mental, you know, a mental situation, a mental health situation may just be that person's just a little high strung, you know, you deal with it. Deal with it. Stop putting your children on medication that 9 times out of 10 they probably don't even need. Now, when they get 12 and up, then that's a different situation, okay? Because at 12, 13, 14, 15, really they should not be that high strung. The older you get, the more leveled out you should be getting, not amped up. So, yeah, then that's a different story. You know, but I do want to talk about this one thing. Wow. I'm like, wow. I want to talk about this doggone Ozempic craze that's happening right now. I mean, I think they said it was Ozempic and Wegovy. I'm like, first of all, that medication was meant for people with diabetes. It wasn't meant for you to use it just because you need to lose a few pounds. How about eating right, drinking water, and exercising, and watch daily intake of certain things? Let's go old school, and now people starting to have problems. Well, I'm sorry, but Ozempic is a black label warning. I want to make sure I got it. Black label warning. That in itself tells the whole story. I'm not taking anything that's got a black label on it. Sorry. No, sir. Not the kid. No, ma'am. Um, Besides, I don't even think my doctors would even prescribe me something that has a black label warning on it anyway. But come on, that was Ozempic. The Wegovy, that's meant for people with diabetes. And the thing that makes me angry about it is that because the people that really need the drug, can't seem to get the drug because people that don't really need the drug are using it for their gain. And that's just wrong on all spheres of the galaxy. That's just wrong. And that's just me. That's the way I feel about it. I just think it's wrong that you're that people out there is benefiting on medications that were not meant for you. Like I said, how about eating right, drinking water, and exercising? Let's take it back to the old school. Because I know when I grew up, when I was grown up, shoot, we didn't spend inside at the idiot box all day and playing video. Well, back then when we was coming up, video games was very sparse. We had the Atari and stuff like that. So it was very sparse back in the time we were coming up. But still, we was not sitting in front of the idiot box all day long. I mean, shoot, you had to get the whole National Guard to come out and get us to come inside. Shoot, we weren't trying to go inside. We had too much fun outside, you know. And then I was thinking about it the other day. I said, Lisa, do you realize that everything that you played back in the day or required some form of running? Oh, we were some running fools back in the day. I tell you what, between tag and kickball and double dutch is the only thing that we didn't have to run to, but we were jumping though, so that's close to running. And all these other things. So we didn't have time to sit in front of the idiot box all day. We were too busy outside. And like I said, the majority of the time, you had to call the National Guard to get us to come inside, because the block that I lived on was a family block, so the kids, we all played together on that block. We really didn't go far. We really did not stray off that block, unless we were going to the park, which actually was behind my house, to go swimming, or like summer, spring and summer. They used to have the DJ come out, like I think it's like every Friday and Saturday on the weekend, and they would come out to the park and they DJ, and we all race to the park and just be having a good old time, But like I said, even that wasn't far enough because, all you had to do was climb my fence to the backyard. You was in the park. Actually, you was in the pool area, but you still in the park. So that's how close the park was. So like I said, we didn't stray too far. When we played, we were on the block. And we knew when them street lights came on, it was time to come in the house. But, we act like we was Ray Charles or Stevie Wonder or something, because we act like we didn't see it. We blind. We didn't see nothing. And then they be calling us, and we know. They know that we be hearing them call us. And we be looking at each other like, did you get something? No, I didn't hear that. Okay, let's keep going. And then you hear it again, and then you like, you sure you didn't hear nothing? No, I didn't hear nothing. Okay. And then when they start calling you by your full name, then you're like, yeah, okay, now we heard that. Oh, no. It's like, okay, now we heard it. Because when you start calling me by my full name, that means you like 2 seconds off and you're behind work. So it's like, yep, yeah, okay, we heard it. See you tomorrow. So and so back then, we didn't have as much child obesity back then as we have now, and that's only because we stayed active, we stayed outside. You know, we played, we swam, we did stuff. You know, we ain't had time for the idiot box. You know, and I thought that was an awesome thing. And you know, and I think back, I said, but that's what they need today. But unfortunately, with anything going on, with the the pow pows and stuff like that, it's very dangerous to have your children, you know, in the PDF files. You know, it's very hard for you to have your child outside to play like that because now you worried about somebody wants to strong. You know, no, you know. See, back then we really didn't have to worry about that. Not at all. We did not have to worry about it because we stayed on the block. And trust me when I said everybody knew everybody on the block, everybody knew everybody on the block. You know, so it's like, okay, all righty then. You know, see you tomorrow. All right, you know. So it's like you look at the times, you know, the times I look back fondly when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. I look back on it fondly because I, those are some of the best moments in my life, you know. So it's like, unfortunately, when them days left, they left, you know, never to return again, you know. And honestly, I don't know. I don't know. And that's also depressing for me too, because it's like, what happened to the days of old? You know, when we were able to go outside and play and just act like crazy people. You know, what happened to those days? You know, I don't understand. You know, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. But yeah. So that for me, that's also kind of depressing. You know, um, you know, and when I started to get when I started into therapy, um, the one question that always came up was, "Do you have a hobby?" And I always said, "Well, what does that got to do with the price of tea in Budapest? You know, what that got to do with anything?" But now I understand, you know, because doing what you love to do actually takes you out of your head, so you're not thinking about what's happening. You know, you you know you're focused on what you're working on, which means whatever's going on up in here, you, you don't even know because what you're doing, you're paying attention to what you're doing. See, I like arts and crafts. Um, I like to do uh, paint by numbers, which I haven't done in many years since I found diamond art painting. I stopped doing that, and now I'm like heavily into diamond art painting. Um, I like to pour resin. I'm not good at it, but I'm working on it. I do like to pour resin because I like to do different designs and different colors, and you know, it's it's definitely interesting. You know, So I'm still, getting on that and working on it, but it helps me. It does help, you know. I'm not thinking about what's going on. I'm worried about trying to get this painting right. I'm trying to get this resin right. And sometimes it can be a little frustrating, but you know what? I'd rather be frustrated at the resin pouring than I am at what's going on in my head on situations that I cannot change now. My mama always told me don't cry over spilt milk, but sometimes if you have it, you may need to, you know, because I know I haven't, and I know I needed to, and I have. But the thing is, I have this slogan, right? Don't let your past be your present, you know, which basically means it's okay to have to go back in the past and deal with it is that you have to deal with from the past. But the thing is, don't stay stuck. You have to come up out of it, you know. So, oh wow, yeah, I forgot about that. So, yeah, that's my slogan. Don't let your past be your present. You know, people always say, well, you can never go back. You can't go back, and it's like, but yes, you can. The problem is being stuck there. Your job was to just go back and try to deal with what you were supposed to deal with back then. Is to deal with it, and then once you deal with it, keep it pushing. You know, you're not supposed to go back there and then just get stuck and then just not making any kind of movement at all. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be doing what we got to do, close that door, close the chapter on that, and then keep moving. But I promise you, so long as that door stays open, you're not going to get any peace. And I learned that the hard way. I learned that the hard way. Sometimes you have to go back and close that door in order for you to keep it pushing forward, for you to, excel at what you need to excel at. Because if you don't close that door from the past, that's like an anchor that, you know, the anchor chain getting wrapped around your foot. Once that anchor goes down, guess what? You going down with the anchor. But that's not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be, you know, unhinge yourself from the chain so you don't go down. So you gotta go back to the past, close the door, do what you gotta do, close the door, and then keep it moving. You know, I know because, when I look back on my relationships, you know, that past in my past, that door has never been closed and it has affected me and my relationships, you know. And now that I realize that, you know, I have to go back. I had to go back to close the door. Now I'm getting the door closed. It's closing slowly, but it's closing. Um, because eventually, I do want a good relationship. I do want to have, love in my life. I do want to feel like I'm wanted, you know, which I haven't felt since my mother passed away. And she passed away, I was 23 years old. She passed away. That's the last time I ever felt like I was loved or wanted, you know. And so I do want that. So in order for me to get that, I have to go back to my past, do whatever it is I got to do, and close that damn door. Keep it moving, you know. And that's what I'm working on right now. That's what I'm really working on right now. I'm working on myself. I haven't really been in a relationship since 2015. And um, I'm just taking that time for me. I'm taking this time to better myself. I'm taking this time to deal with my issues that I need to deal with. You know, um, there's that old statement that says, especially, this is like mainly geared for the females, to get over one man, you got to get under another one. I used to think that way too, but no, 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 that's not good, because what you're doing is every time you do that is you're taking the luggage from your past relationship, and bringing it into the new relationship. So then when that new relationship ends, you get ready to go into another relationship. Now you got luggage from the last one and the one before that. You got luggage, and you carried it to the new relationship. And you have, I had, like, for myself, I had to ask myself, is it right? Is it fair for this person to have to deal with my shenanigans because I couldn't get it right? And the answer is no, it's not. It's not right. It's not fair to that person. So I'm taking this time, you know, it's a me time, and working on me. In rehab, they say it all the time that this is a selfish program. And it is. It's a selfish program. Because I cannot help you if I cannot help myself. You know, I cannot expect somebody to love me if I cannot love myself. I never really understood what that meant, you know, until I got older, and I got in my stuff. Um, but I get it, you know. I can't expect nobody to love me if I don't love myself. And the thing about it is that men pick up on that. And I think that's why a lot of women get into these god awful relationships, because they see your vulnerability and they play on it, And because our self esteem is not up to par, we fall into it, you know, and that's never a good thing. This is never ever a good thing to do, is to fall into that. Um, so that's why sometimes when I see, you know, women like certain celebrities I see, and they get into these relationships and stuff, it's like you can see it. It's like, okay, lady, you need to get yourself some self esteem. Because anybody with self esteem would not tolerate half the crap that you tolerate from your partner. You know, so we as women, females, girls, and it really starts at the girl level. You know, we have to learn how to love ourselves. You know, you have to know yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. We have to know ourselves. As women, we really do have to know ourselves, because if we don't know ourselves, then we just get caught up in some kind of nonsense, whether it be with a man or another female. We get caught up into some kind of nonsense. And then you want to ask yourself, well, 5 years later, you want to ask yourself how I get here. Okay, well, I can tell you how you got there. You know, we have to start learning to love ourselves and treating ourselves with kindness and care, and being soft and gentle with ourselves. Because if we don't do it, Nobody else is going to do it. Especially if you're dealing with a man, they're going to take advantage of it. They're going to play on it. I'm not saying every man. Let's not get that twisted. I'm not saying every man, but there are a lot of men out there that can see it from a mile away and they will play it like a heart, you know. And then before you know it, you're caught up in some kind of situation where you're like, wait, that's not what I signed up for. But yeah, actually you did. You know, you've been with this person for 2 years, and I'm gonna say within the first 6 months you already saw the red flag and you still stayed. So my thing is, yeah, yeah, you did. You know, I have to learn how to love myself, and I'm learning how to love myself. You know, I'm learning what I'm going to be tolerated of, what I'm going to tolerate from men, and what I'm not going to tolerate from men. You know, and some people's like, well, Lisa, you know, I think that's being a little too harsh. It's like, no, no, it's not. Why? Because I'm not tolerating the shenanigans of him going out and staying out till wee hours in the morning, coming in smelling like some old liquor and cheap perfume that I don't even wear. And then you want, no, sir, you want to take that home because you are not staying here because I'm not tolerating it. I'm not, you know. And this is where self esteem comes in because when you have that self esteem, you're not going to fall for the nonsense. Once you know who you are, what you would tolerate, what you won't tolerate, trust me. I mean, don't nobody like to be alone, but you know what? Sometimes we need to be. Sometimes we really need to be. Sit down somewhere and be quiet and just take this time to take a me time and work on yourself. You know, that's really, all I'm saying. We as women have to have self esteem. You know, when I look at these rap videos, I'm like, what? Because I come up in the day of, you know, MC Light, Salt and Pepper, Queen Latifah, you know, these are the days that I came up in. And let me tell you something. When them women rap, trust me when I said they wasn't rapping about their bodies and they wasn't rapping about their genitalia. There was not. So how did we get from from MC Light rap to this trash rap? And see, this is why I say women don't have a lot of women out here don't have respect for themselves. Their self-esteem is low because I cannot, even if I was a rapper, you know, I could not see myself up there on stage in front of millions of people talking about my body, talking about what I can do with a man or do to a man. At the end of the day, I don't want to hear that nonsense. I don't want to hear it. And for me, it's trash. This is where the self esteem kicks in. Because if you had any kind of self esteem about yourself, you wouldn't be on stage, damn near naked, twerking all over the place, and rapping about what you got. We don't care what you got, especially me, because I'm a female. I got the same thing you got. I think. I know what I got. I'm not sure what you got. You know, But at the end of the day, you know, it's like the self-esteem issue is so low, especially amongst females. And I see it all the time when I see these, when I not even see the videos really. It's just hearing a song. It's like, um, where did your self-esteem take a left turn at Albuquerque? You know what I'm saying? Because to me, that's saying like, you ain't got, I mean, you just put it on display, girl. You ain't got no kind of self-esteem. You know, now everybody and their mama know you ain't got no self-esteem because you just told a million people on stage or even on a video or on a song that you ain't got no self-esteem. When you have to resort to rapping about your body and the genitalia, yeah, you ain't got no self-esteem. Because I remember MC Light was the first black female rapper that opened the door for all the other females to come through. She never once rapped about her body. Queen Latifah never rapped about her body. You know, uh, Salt and Pepper, you know, never rapped about their body. Sister Soldier never rapped about her body. So I look at the times, I look at the day, I look at what is happening right now. I don't get it. You know, somebody needs to teach you youngins to sit down, especially females. Sit down, have a me time, and love yourself. It's like that old saying goes, he who stands for nothing will stand for everything. You know? And it's like we gotta do better, people. We really gotta do better. You know. But I can go on for hours, but I'm gonna cut this, you know, right now. Um, so I ordered me some Chinese food, and from where I live, we never had that Chinese food, but they opened it up on Instacart, so I can get Chinese food delivered to me. So, and I try not, you know what, and honestly, I try not to eat out much. I might try to do it once every couple of months. I'll treat myself, but for the most part, I do a lot of cooking at home. You know, and this was my once in a blue moon moment. I got my Chinese food. I'm happy. Anyway, so let me know what you think. Y'all subscribe and like and hit me up and let me know. I really like to know and what you think and try to keep this conversation going. Okay. Until then, everybody, you have a blessed day. Have a blessed weekend. Stay cool. Stay. It's hot where you at. Stay cool. Stay safe. And until next time, y'all have a good one. Bye.